Well, I wanted to dedicate a little bit this topic of civil servants, civil workers, this privilege I have to coach some of them who are definitely challenged these days by uncertainty. I never thought, especially for a Frenchman like me, that coming to the US, this would happen one day. And why did I say because I'm French? Well, because the civil servants in France have even more of that sense of complacence, if you want to call it that way, or a sense of stability, no matter what. The choice has been for a career that someone will just pick a job, start a process to apply, and belong to this great community, fantastic, huge community of workers who are working for the government. And that gives them some guarantees in exchange of being civil servants. And I think the core, I would say, motivation beside a career is definitely stability. If this is threatened by anything, and it could be by other things than what it is today in the US, which is, I don't know what you can call it, but it's definitely a reorganization. It's a reconsideration of how the system works. And if there is, in fact, really has been abuse or different situations that call for a cleaning process of some kind, of some sort, or to reset the values of what it is to work for the government, then of course it takes some drastic kind of shape right now, and it really spreads panic around there. And it's totally comprehensible. I cannot be more than compassionate and feel for all those people that are now really in a stage of, I don't know if the word panic is really characteristic for everyone, but let's say it's a certain level of shock and disarray where someone really doesn't know where to start. This is something that was never in the mind of anyone. But it is life. Honestly, it is life. I'm not here to give any lessons to anyone. I'm just a coach and an executive coach. It's about, in fact, being responsible. And I just have to always try to help when I listen to someone actively, listening between the lines and understand that this person is, in fact, saying really from his or from her heart, sometimes with tears falling, that I did not expect this to happen and I don't know what to do because I just have had any idea about this becoming a possibility that once in my life such a thing would happen. Uncertainty in the federal space. That's what I wanted to call it this way, or civil service at a crossroad. And this is really what's going on. And you know what happened to me spontaneously? Even I'm not working for the state or for the federal government, but for my own, is that maybe I had instances in times of uncertainty when I had to change or I was laid off in 2008 or 2007 when it was a debacle in the US, like so many millions of other people, and was thinking about working for the government, was saying, well, what would be the process? After all, I have a family to support. I'm very responsible here. And that would be give me now maybe some guarantees that this would not happen again. This whole transition that was so stressful. And maybe it was at a time when I was not that strong in my mind or mentally strong to face that challenge. Because you need to be, you know, very strong and very well put together to face a challenge and to face something when you are completely in front of the unexpected surprise. Uh, Now that's emotional, but it's also rational. You didn't think about it. You never wrote a resume, really, or since the day you have been hired to where you are. Cool. So that's what I'm trying to address here in a series. And it is very much of a crossroad. But it's before anything, as I wanted to say to you, my reaction, very, very sincere reaction when listening and watching my clients was, gosh, what a great opportunity. because this type of challenge, believe it or not, is a great opportunity. You never thought that one day you would have to think about this, how to become independent, or maybe just try to push off the idea that maybe I should be completely dependent on the government for my paycheck every 2 weeks or so. That I have my future, I have my bills paid by, I have my apartment paid by, I am or paid for, etc., etc. The whole mentality, the whole mindset is extremely passive if you think about it. At any level of leadership, even when you become an officer in the army or in the Air Force, whatever, where you are, civil servant, working for the Social Security, working for the education, working for the local community, for a city hall, for being a superintendent, even in the leadership position. All of those different situations and positions of responsibilities are still part of a huge organization, a huge budget that is taking care of all the peers that you have and all the people that work for you, around you. It's not the same. It's a total different kind of artificial world that, in fact, is very abstract if you think about it. And now comes the reality. Wow, it's also a business. It also comes from revenue, and I'm part of the expense because it is definitely an expense for the organization, for the federal agency or the local and state agency, or my community, my county agency, whatever the entity is, or healthcare agency. I am part of a system that is huge, that is paid by the taxpayers, for example, and maybe out of a budget that is already in deficit, which is most of the time the case. So you're not in a normal setting. It's not a normal situation to be a civil servant. You're part of something that is not necessarily profitable. It's not a business like any other business. It's not even for a non-profit cause. It's a federal cause. It's a state. It has politics in there. It has, you know, government governing. You know, the Senate, the the House of Representatives. They make decisions for me, for my family. That's what it is. So it's not a normal situation. So now the wake up call is wow, guys, you're not in any other situation than everybody else in this nation. You also pay taxes, but you're also part of a system that needs to justify an expense and justify your position, that you contribute, that you produce, that this and that. Anyway, that's my understanding. The equation is pretty much real. And maybe whoever think that it's right, it's wrong, the way it's done, whatever, I have no opinion really. And I'm not going to have one because I'm just a coach. I'm just sharing what I see. It's very much like I do. I choose put myself as a spectator, and I'm also contributing because I'm helping people to feel good about the situation, and not artificially so, but realistically so. It's an incredible opportunity. It's an opportunity of changing the paradigm, literally, of how you see your work and your revenue and your position in life. And at the end of the day, would it be fair that one segment of the nation feels that there is no threat at all on their revenues and their professional status versus the other part of the society where they are working for the private sector, and it's all depending on their results or the results of their companies, and they are rewarded if the company is profitable, and they are not if the company is at loss or even threatened to lose their job because they're going to be a reorganization or cost cuttings and all kind of things that will shrink the team and have a consequence of a pink slip coming to your desk and saying, sorry, we like what you do, we love what you do, but we can't afford you anymore. Amazing. The reality. So the opportunity here is to be, again, completely connected to the reality. The opportunity is I'm going to think for the first time about assessing myself for what I'm worth in the market, for what I'm good at, for what I would be appreciated for, for rewriting my resume, reviewing, refreshing my mind, reassessing everything. Take a coach, take a specialist in resume writing, do the job and make it an adventure, something you can really enjoy. You're going to get a lot of benefits in a way from most of these, but the fear of layoffs, restructuring is normal. It's an emotional status. How can you overcome that? How can you gain confidence in yourself that you are worth a lot and that you really can contribute? Can you acknowledge the loss of certainty and control? Can you reassure that it's a moment of growth? It's a reinvention. There is new opportunities. And after all, uncertainty is the birthplace of possibility. It's totally a reconsideration of your landscape, of where you are, of opening your eyes to things that you were not seeing. At the end of the day, for those who have been 6 years, 10, 15, 25, 30 years, going to the same office with the same expectations, with the same format, even some creativity there, but most of the time doing a certain routine type of job. Aren't you happy that maybe there is something opening up for you that is going to change and maybe connect you to yourself and to who you are and not be part of a uniform system or be part of being in a mold contained within top and side and top and bottom in a box? Maybe that's the opportunity to break all of those things and start being very free because it was not maybe freedom. I'm saying maybe. It's not what I'm saying is not for everyone. I'm saying that it's probably what I'm thinking if I would put myself in your shoes, if you are one of those civil servant who is now threatened or feel uncertainty for the first time about your future and about your job. And I think that my encouragement from your own words, I'm not prescribing anything, but is to be proactive about it. It's to take this moment to upskill, to explore new roles, to strengthen your professional relationships, to start networking. It's about being active and actively networking. It's about reconnecting to people you haven't talked to for so many years, your graduate peers, your friends, your former colleagues, even when you were in the private sector, if you were, reconnect with your former boss, employer, employees. Unbelievable. You never thought it would happen. Today, 2025, February, there's so many of you that are panicked and think, what am I going to do with this situation? And I'm trying to tell you, this is what I'm telling in the sessions. I can totally be open about it. I just ask these questions. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking questions. I'm saying, how do you feel? Well, I feel very anxious. I never thought this would happen, but da, da, da. So we go through the emotional side, the tears. There is a lot of tears. Believe me, if I could hang my handkerchief through the screen, but I can't. But I really feel for the tears and I feel for the pain. I really do. It's not because I'm making it up. I really do feel. It's solely, totally, totally obvious in front of my eyes that people are panicked and cry. And it could give a guilt to whoever is the cause of this or who caused this, whoever is behind this new paradigm again, this new action, this new script that someone is writing. That, wow, these people, so many of them, are feeling uncertain today about their future. That never happened in their profession, in their sector, in their perimeter. Never happened. So this is some practical steps that I think I would like to suggest to go on LinkedIn and update your profile or create one if you haven't done yet and start to be, in fact, in the market and feel for it. Feel this is an incredible opportunity. Get this into your skin, something that is never has never been in front of you as an opportunity is now right there in front of you as one. And you're not in the middle of nowhere. you've got your friends, you've got your family, you're not alone, and you've got even those to talk with. There is a bit of those bitter days where you are, you know, processing and you are negative and you are upset and you are bitter about it. And then when you pass this toxic time, because it's a lot of toxicity and negativity, and you start connecting to this proactivity and to this opportunity and to the fact that you are someone here in the world who can do something different, if it is about that, then yes, please get my invitation. Do not wait. Embrace it. Enjoy it. It's something exciting. So I think it's very important to shift from any victim feeling and victim feelings, right? Victim feelings, to become the architect of your own destiny, to be proactive, to be the player of your own life, and not and realize that it was not someone else or anything else that had to play it for you. And that's maybe the realization of this. Whoever stays in position and even have now perspective, clear perspective of future in a civil servant capacity, as a normal civil servant employee, or as a manager or as a leader into this organization, in any case, this particular time is a prosperous time. It's a time for you to assess and reflect, which you would not have done otherwise. And this is why I think it's an incredible blessing. I think so. And I really, truly think so, if you feel the sincerity of what I'm saying. So rewrite your own story, take control, and then think about it, because this is unbelievable. And use the power of community and support each other. It is also the time to encourage peer support, to mentor, receive and to mentor others, and to coach others. You're not alone in this. You're not. There's so many people now that can gather, think, brainstorm, and give feedback to each other. It's the perfect time to do it. And you will remember it, believe me. So it might feel uncomfortable to feel uncertain. That's the definition of uncertainty. But it's also the moment where reinvention begins. And it's the key to survive in this change, and is to use it as a launch pad for something that will be better, for sure, better, for sure, closer to who you are, to your identity, because your identity goes much beyond the role that you play right now in what you do. And if you love what you do or love what you did, you will love it even better in the next stage of your life. So it's easier said than done. I can always talk here and make this show you change the world, maybe a pivotal, or this is at least the ambition of it, a source of inspiration for change. Because you change the world of others when you are caring for others. You change the world in general because you are touching to greatness when you are mindful for others to be successful. And then you are mindful to be successful for yourself when you are opening your mind to something that you never thought would be possible. And that's what's really going on. It is possibilities. You are talking about possibilities that were not at your fingertip, was not accessible to you because you were blinded. And this is really the truth that you are realizing probably today, by this old sense of security and safety that was closing you into this box and into this containment that was your civil servant role. If this is inspiring you, what I'm saying, please embrace it, start organizing it, and be proactive. And you'll see. We'll check it out. I'm going to come back with this topic more and more, and we'll get and dig into it more and more. I appreciate your listening to me, and I'm looking forward continuing this conversation and inviting you to reach out to me on the website, andrepolitzer.com or coachingpath.com or majesty.com. And please send me a message. engage, get a session with me for 15, 20 minutes. It's free. And we can eventually set up a plan together and see if we are continuing together or not. I'm not trying to advertise myself here. My schedule is full anyway for the next 2 or 3 months. But I would like to just say, really, from the bottom of my heart, good luck in this journey. It's a great, exciting journey, and I really have a big smile for you. And I love all of you who feel so bitter and so frustrated right now and can really see this as a huge opening up opportunity. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.